Yeah, and I'm really hoping we're not attending the funeral. I mean, even if they don't win the series, I would love to see Glacial Rising Phoenix take a game. I really want to see them at least, even if they're not taking the game, I want to see this game, them step up and be more closely contested, right? These first two games have kind of been a little bit of blowouts, and we know Glacial Rising Phoenix has potential to step up, right? We've seen it in their series against Trigger Happy. They've closed out some really clean games, but NG Blossom so far has proved too much to handle.
First ban coming in from MG Blossom, taking the Ornn away from Glacial Rising Phoenix, just making sure Joey Desu doesn't have that safe top laner is able to just soak a lot of damage and provide a lot of utility to the team by giving those Ornn items out and able to provide a lot of CC in those fights for the objectives.
Yeah, and once again, Glacial Rising Phoenix will lose their first ban due to the sub of Crixin coming in. And, one of the perks to being the team that's consistently winning in best of fives is you don't have to adapt your bans as much, right? When you're winning, you can kind of keep the bans that have been working for you. But when you start losing games, you really have to go back to the drawing board, right? Do you ban these 3 champions you banned in game 1? Do you ban what beats you in game 1? Do you ban what beats you in game 2, right? You're starting to let more and more things through that have already proven to beat you before. So you either have to find an answer for something you couldn't find before, or you have to start letting through these champions you didn't want to in game 1. So maybe we see Jeremy Flip's Gangplank finally get target banned away, or maybe they're deciding, because personally, his Gangplank has looked good, right? But both of these games, he's kind of been low kill participation, but they're finally going to take him off of it. They decided, hey, even if his kill participation's a little low, he's still doing a lot for the team, and we want to get rid of it, right? Maybe we can handle the pressure on the rest of the map. And Catnator's going to lock in this first pick Caitlyn for himself. And this bot lane has already looked insanely strong. And getting that Caitlyn first pick is only going to, give him even more of an edge in this series.
And with the ban of Ezreal coming out against Epic Fail Guy, he's forced to lock in this Ashe to try to deal with Catnator in the bot lane. And then we see the Karma hovered and locked in for Glacial Rising Phoenix. Could go to Joey Desu in the top lane, as we've seen he's had a little bit of success on it yesterday and was able to kind of deal with Jeremy Flip in the top lane today. We'll just have to see where it goes. I'm definitely interested to see how Glacial Rising Phoenix goes into this draft now that they don't have to worry about Jeremy Flip's Gangplank in the back of their mind.
Yeah, and what's scary right now is we're staring down the barrel of Caitlyn Morgana or Caitlyn Lux. And it is going to be Caitlyn Morgana coming out from the side of Catnator next to me, and Black Oreo Cookies is going to be able to pick up his Galio. And right now, NG Blossom's draft looks like they're not messing around, right? We saw an Ivern hover, and they still could pick some things like that, but it's looking like they're having, no trolling around. They're going straight serious. They just want to close out the series and move on. We're seeing Caitlyn Morgana Galio. These are some of their best champions. And this is where Glacial Rising Phoenix is really going to have to step up. This game is going to be monumentous, right? They're down 0-2. We're seeing very strong lanes come out. We see a Syndra locked in again for Crixin. He looked decent on it. His biggest problems in that game felt like positioning in some of the team fights, kind of getting jumped by Sylas. Maybe they'll be a little safer against Galio. Maybe she'll run Cleanse for Morgana bindings. We'll have to see. And Set's going to be taken away from Jeremy Flip.
And then they're going to go ahead and ban away the Bard from Xylandis. Xylandis only playing Bard in this series and was able to pick it up a couple games away from Troll to Noob in the series yesterday. We'll have to see what Xylandis might opt for here to back up his Ashe, as now the Jarvan is taken away from NG Blossom, kind of taking away more of that engage tools that NG Blossom already has with the Morgana bind in the hero's entrance on the Galio. I'm very interested to see what kind of jungler NG Blossom might go for to try to help further the engage that the Galio R gives.
And there's the Graves ban. I was going to say Graves is still up for Skiz, but they do just ban it away from Skiz. And once again, 3 of the easier junglers in my opinion to play when you're kind of off-rolled as Skiz is Olaf, J4, and Graves, right? So are we going to see him go to a Zac, Sedge, tank style? Will he lock in Elise? We will see the Sedge. She's going to fall back on, kind of a comfort tank style. A little easier to play, but this gives Exasperated so many possibilities of champions that he can play, right? Sedge is not known for counter jungling. She's not known for super strong 1v1 skirmishing, and it does open the door to some of these more off-meta junglers. that we might want to see. I will say the Bard ban's a little interesting. I feel like Xylandis hasn't been performing on it necessarily. Maybe they just didn't know what else to ban, kind of want to see him play something else. And we're going to get a Lee Sin for Exasperated. And with the way this series has been going, I'm excited. I like seeing Lee Sin plays. Maybe we'll see some cool kicks. You know, maybe this is an opening. Lee Sin is, in a way, a weak champion, right? He can be really strong when he gets ahead, and when he falls behind, I mean, aside from being able to kick someone to the team, that's about all he's got when he's behind.
The thing I'll say with that, though, is Lee Sin has a 100% win rate in the ALS. That is pretty scary stats looking at going into this game. NG Blossom is drafting a really strong composition. They have the Heroes engines to help back up the Aatrox, as well as the Lee Sin if they decide to start disengages off. You know, they drafted a very strong team that's able to have a lot of objective control, but at the same time win individually within their lanes.
And I really like this Zyra pickup that we see coming out from the side of Xylandis. Zyra is a good champion against Morgana. Obviously, if you get hit by a binding, you're still under the threat with the Caitlyn traps of dying, right? So no matchup is perfect. It still has its flaws, but you can drop plant. You can, you know, if you're fast enough, put your seed down with your W and spawn a plant to block every Morgana binding. It's very easy to get rid of black shields with this Zyra damage. And I am really excited to see if this Ashe Zyra kind of throwback bot lane is able to hold its own against Caitlyn Morgana, because, I mean, like I said, Catnator hasn't died. Their bot lane has been very consistent at not dying and being oppressive in team fights. And that is the thing that has kind of won NG Blossom in this game, is every skirmish, every team fight is going their way.
So with how interesting a level 1 we saw last game, do you think we might see something like that again? You have the Morgana binds and the Caitlyn traps to help out NG Blossom early. And then when it comes to Glacial Rising Phoenix, you can get some slows out from Ashe, maybe a quick entangling root from Zyra. Do you think we'll see a Spice level 1, or maybe just go back to a little bit more traditional 5-point defense?
I don't think we will, just because I think NG Blossom, especially with the draft they've had, I feel like they're trying to be super serious, and honestly, if you 5-man walk into Glacial Rising Phoenix and all die and give them 5 kills at level 1, not the greatest start to a game 3 where you're already up 2-0, have the momentum on your side. And Glacial Rising Phoenix, I just don't see them invading. As a team, I don't see them having that mental of coming out and being like, man, we got knocked down twice in a row, let's level 1 invade them. I don't see it, and the champions don't lend it to it. It's probably just kind of a chill level 1. Every carry, the 4 carries in this game, do have cleanse. Important to note, we do see, you know, like I was talking about, Crixin opting for that cleanse to maybe get out of some Morgana bindings, Galio taunts. And, you know, same token for the Caitlyn. You know, we see the Caitlyn really doesn't want to be rooted by Zyra or stunned by Ashe, because the power of the Ashe Zyra comes from, you know, Ashe arrow and just one shot, right? So it's very scary. This draft for NG Blossom is extremely well done, and Glacial Rising Phoenix is going to have a huge mountain to climb for this game 3. I mean, they've been struggling all series, right? This is do or die for them.
Glacial Rising Phoenix definitely needs to step up and assert their last little bit of dominance, make their last stand here, and kind of show NG Blossom, hey, you might be the #1 ranked seed, but we're not ready to let you get by skate-free. We're going to hang on to this game. We're going to try to show just how much we're able to adapt. We might have lost Faulted. We picked up Crixin, and Crixin's going to be able to stand up. I'm ready to see exactly what their game plan is going into them. I'm ready to see what NG Blossom might pull out, trying to close this game 3 out. It's definitely going to be an exciting game, and I'm looking forward to it.
I don't want to attend the grave of Phoenix. I want them to rise for one game. You know, I want them to ascend for this one game, right? Just super nice. I would love to see this highly competitive game. I want to see it, because the series hasn't been, I mean, in a term, fun to watch. It's been very explosive, right? We've had a lot of kills, but it just seems so one-sided for NG Blossom. And I mean, they're making a statement, right? They are the 1 seed versus the 5 seed. We saw Kisses for Cats earlier today move into the finals in a pretty commanding 3-1, right? They lost the first game, able to bounce back very cleanly. And NG Blossom looking to get to the finals relatively the same way, with kind of a clean 3-0. And Glacial Rising Phoenix has this opportunity to be a bump in the road. You know, maybe one game throws off the mental of NG Blossom. Maybe we even see them chain some games together, win 2 or even 3. But it certainly seems unlikely. And I'm hoping with this game here, it does lend itself to Glacial Rising Phoenix a little bit. They have a chance, right? We see power picks with Syndra, Ashe is a strong bot lane, Skiz is on a relatively safe jungler, and Joey Desu fell back to that karma we've seen him on so many times before. And in this series, it has been team fighting and skirmishing that has lost them games. We haven't seen too many lanes get blown out. Obviously, mid lane game 1 was a little bit of a CS deficit, about 60, kind of in the favor of NG Blossom. Other than that, the lanes have been close. It's been all about this early objective control. You know, will the Lee Sin do some early dragons like Exasperated has on Olaf in the past?
I'm definitely have my attention set to this Lee Sin on Exasperated. You know, a good Lee Sin is able to very easily turn the tide for his game solo, able to hit those really strong kicks onto, say Catnator has gotten, or sorry, say Epic Fail Guy has gotten far ahead. Well, then Exasperated goes in, gets a nice little insect kick, and delivers that strong carry. He's able to turn these fights solo, but at the same time, a very strong ultimate by Sejuani is able to lock them down on the flip side. So both these teams have the tools available to kind of put the games in their own hands. It's just all about how these two teams execute them in these coming minutes.
Yeah, I definitely think, the first 5-6 minutes of this game, we're going to see kind of what the game's going to be like, because in the past we've seen in the first 6, maybe even 7 minutes, right? Early dragons for the side of NG Blossom. We've seen some early skirmishes go their way. We see, Joey Desu's kind of, he hasn't been losing lane hard, but he's been like soft losing. Jeremy Flip on the Gangplank was getting CS leads, roaming with the jungler a little bit for that prio. In both games, in game 1, right, faulted. They tried to make a play in that topside river, and we saw Jeremy Flip beat Joey Desu to the punch, had the lane priority, and was there. So Jeremy Flip's had a little more impact on the map than Joey Desu has. And in this game, Joey Desu's back on the Karma, so I don't see this top lane impact coming out from Joey Desu again, at least early on. And, I mean, we're going to have to see, top lane has been relatively an island, for the most part. And I don't see it changing this game.
Like you talked about, pretty standard 5-point defense for both teams, just trying to make sure nothing too crazy happens early. Both these junglers stationed on the top side of the map might be going for a little bit of early vision. Jeremy Flip already pushing in onto Joey Desu, maybe trying to see what kind of poke he can get out, but Joey Desu instantly responds a little bit more poke of his own.
These top laners just want some action.
I honestly love it. These two top laners going back and forth, trading, just turning this game into a little bit of a bloodbath, and it's honestly exciting to watch from a caster's perspective, as neither one of these top laners are content to kind of just sit back and relax the entire game.
Oh yeah, definitely. We've seen, I mean, we talk about game 2, we had the Gangplank versus Malphite. I mean, we saw Jeremy Flip up there. It looked like he was in some trouble, and he was going for these solo kills. They outplayed the tower dive. Exasperated, right place, right time has been the key all series long. Every skirmish that we've seen, Exasperated is there to the punch, and if it's not him, then it's someone else on his team, right? He's making the play, and his team is there at the right time. And we just see NG Blossom a little quicker to the punch, and that comes with what we've talked about before. NG Blossom's biggest strength has always been their macro. Their lanes are strong, but we don't necessarily see their lanes solo killing, right? They're building CS leads, and they're rotating on the map properly. And we're going to have to see if that continues. I mean, we see already, Crixen's kind of doing some good poke in the mid lane, chunking out Black Oreo cookies a little bit, but he's already got that push. It's like a Sean in the series with Trigger Happy versus Glacial Rising Phoenix, always having the push and roaming with his jungler early game.
Pretty standard start coming from these two junglers. They both started on their red buffs, looking to maybe transition around the map. Exasperated might be looking to see if he can assist Jeremy Flip and get some early damage, if not force a flash off this Karma in the top lane. And then you see Skiz probably going to be pathing down towards his bot lane to kind of help out against this Caitlyn Morgana and see if he can get Epic Fail Guy ahead, because we've seen what he can do with the right gold and items in his hand. Epic Fail Guy can be a monster if put in the position.
Yeah, what I've described him as he's not gonna 1v9 the game, and he's not gonna create his own 1v9, but if the team allows him to 1v9 to pop off, then he has proven time and time again. Is Crixen already looking for an early kill mid?
The cleanse coming through. Cleanse repeat for Crixon, but first blood over to Black Oreo Cookies.
Yeah, and just another game coming out top lane already for Exasperated too on this Karma.
Exasperated,
you're not going to find too much, but
he's able to get a little bit of damage off and allow Jeremy Flip to get the push of his own. Skiz picking up that the scuttle in the bot lane. Just trying to keep up with Exasperated's Lee Sin, trying to make sure that Skiz has a little bit of a lead here.
Yeah, one of the big things in the mid lane was, Crixon started with a really good trade, and we just see Black Oreo Cookies knowing the limits of his champion, right? Frame perfect cleanse immediately on the Cinder Stun and just immediately turns onto Crixon. And Crixon thinks he can continue trading and finds out the hard way. He didn't win. And just overall, well played. As this Karma versus Aatrox matchup, there's still a Lee Sin up here, but the Aatrox is very chunked.
Lee Sin kind of sneaking up to the top lane. These bot laners keep on chunking each other out. And now we can see Exasperated try to make his way forward, getting a little bit of a slow off onto Joey Desu. Joey Desu kind of taking low here, but the root's going to connect. Exasperated forced to walk away.
Man, Joey Desu is so consistently annoying on this Karma, right? And I feel like that's the best word to always describe the Karma top, is it's annoying. I don't necessarily think it's going to carry any games. We've seen him do always well in his matchups. And we see a good gank coming out bot lane from Skiz.
Oh, the dash with the flash is just a little bit too late. The binding connects, trap connects, and now Catnator is running after. Cleanse comes through, and he's going to pick up the kill onto Skiz.
Yeah, and Skiz, it starts off as a pretty decent gank, trying to make a play. We saw him kind of near the Krugs on the bot side. And he just gets hit with the Morgana binding. It feels that pain at the chain CC combo Morgana. Maybe a little too aggressive, flashing forward. Probably could have gotten away with just showing face and backing him off. And, there's that power of the bot lane that's coming out with Caitlyn Morgana.
Caitlyn Morgana is such an oppressive lane to deal with unless you have the right tools. Xylandis on this Zyra has the ability to kind of get rid of those black shields like you were talking about, but he has to make sure he plays this lane just right. And now we see another trade breaker on the top lane, and Joey Desu just being a nuisance to Jeremy Flip, able to kite around him so quickly with these shields and tethering him down to make sure he doesn't get too much movement.
Yeah, Karma top just being annoying. One of the key things, for NG Blossom this whole year that I've been talking about is their solo lanes don't always just pop off. The one that has the most typically has been Jeremy Flip out of the two. We've seen him on that set been the biggest kind of pop off for him in terms of just winning the top lane 1v1. Normally they're always winning in CS, always really strong. It's the team fights that have always been good. And to see them building these early game leads in the lanes by themselves for the most part, with Black Oreo Cookies getting the solo kills. And
the flash ward by Joey Desu. Jeremy Flip survives just barely. But here comes Skiz looking to see him. He's going to pick up that kill on a Jeremy Flip.
Yeah, and there we go. That's Skiz. We're finally seeing some good plays coming out of this jungler for the side of Glacial Rising Phoenix. Able to pick up a kill. We can say he's at the right place, right time here. And he's even recognizing, he saw the Galio on the ward roaming up. Able to walk out through the topside tower. And, they should be getting out scot-free here. Galio actually going to flash forward.
He's going to double taunt. He's going to pick up that easy kill onto Joey Desu. Skiz forced to back away. As he knows he goes back in, he'll lose his life as well.
And the power of that spellbook on Galio. And, what we see is once again the early focus on dragons. As soon as Exasperated saw Skiz tower dive his top laner, he immediately moved to the dragon. Crixon with the flash tries to respond with a kill, and the power of the black shield with Guardian was too much there, able to save Exasperated. And now you're looking at Syndra with no flash, no ultimate against this Galio. Very scary.
Black Oreo Cookies has firmly put himself in a good position to kind of take down Crixon in these next couple of minutes. Without that flash available, the only thing they can look for, but we have a fight breaking out in the bot lane. We have a really good bind connecting to a trap, and Xylandis is taking low, but Catnator's going to pick up that kill. Joey Desu now is on the run from Jeremy Flip. Hero's entrance coming in, knockup connects, taunt going to go through. Black Oreo Cookies going to pick up that kill on a Joey Desu. That is a 3-0, very strong, very dangerous Galio in the mid lane of Black Oreo Cookies.
And this is not the start you were hoping for. Down 0-2 in the series, backs against the wall. And, you know, we talked about it. The first 6 to 7 minutes of the game really setting the tone of the game. Those first 7 minutes, we see 5 kills to 1, 2,000 gold lead, and a dragon already for NG Blossom. I mean, you know, I was talking about it. They're not normally a team in the early game that's going to come out with this huge gold lead. They're going to hit that 15-minute mark and out-team fight, out-map rotate you, and beat you just because they're better. And what we're seeing this time is they're showing that just because we're better in the lanes, in everything they do in the early game as well.
Jeremy Flip kind of sneaking his way towards Skizz's red buff, looking to see if he can maybe steal this away, as he saw Skizz already use that smite, but Skizz is going to pick it up, and he's going to have to dash over the wall to his own safety.
Yeah, using the power of the Sejuani E passive to just secure it. But, you know, I like Jeremy Flip, what he's doing there. He's just trying to be really annoying. You know, maybe if Exasperated's a little quicker to the punch, if they communicate a little better, we see them actually pick up the buff and or the kill. I mean, but look, here we go. Exasperated, early focus on objectives, every game. And here he is on this Rift Herald at 9 minutes. And, you know, what we see on the map is there's nowhere to go for Glacial Rising Phoenix to respond. And they're not able to respond to this play either, you know, whether they have an idea or not. Skizz is just not in a position to respond. And fails at giving over the blue buff to poor Crixin, as the Bomby Sender does in fact pick up the blue buff. And there goes the Rift Herald to the side of NG Blossom. And we actually see it given to the top laner.
Yeah, the thing we've kind of talked about before is if your top laner is able to kind of maintain some of that prio, it can be a very good way to get him a lot of gold very quickly. And with that at his disposal, you know, he'll be able to get some of that gold and then maybe use it to kind of get some kills onto Joey Desu, as Joey Desu's already fallen behind with 2 deaths already.
And the big thing, we see Exasperated moving up here. Giving the Rift Herald to the top laner means you're trying to make a play topside, and here comes Exasperated. Free kill. And Joey Desu goes down. You know, well played to Exasperated, good kick. And that's part of reading the map. When you see a Rift Herald given to a top laner, you know that means they're looking to make plays around the top side. Especially because, you know, we see Jeremy Flip not necessarily winning the lane. Right, the trades are pretty even. And I was expecting maybe to have to use Galio ult top lane to force the play. And we see Exasperated just make a good play up there and, you know, using the power of Lee Sin early on with his kicks. But interesting to note, they didn't drop the Rift Herald. So maybe looking at a repeat with the Galio ult up here to tower dive Karma.
You know, and if that tower dive is able to be pulled off effectively, that's going to be a first tower straight over to NG Blossom, as well as picking up another kill. They have about a 2.7k gold lead here. You know, that's already a lot of gold, considering we're only at the 11-minute mark. And if they pick up this first tower, it's only going to build that lead further and further.
And the big thing right now is we have this massive bot lane priority building from Caitlyn Morgana. And we see the next dragon spawning in 40 seconds. And Exasperated is already immediately on this bot side of the map, looking to make a play on the enemy bot lane potentially. We see bot scuttles coming up here about the same time as dragon. And, you know, Skizz, he's on the top side of the map farming raptors. And we see this 3-man unit strong walking in the bot river. They're already here for this dragon. And the big thing here is Jeremy Flip has Rift, right? So if Joey Desu TP's down, we're going to immediately probably see that Rift Herald drop top lane and a bunch of gold funneled into the pocket of Jeremy Flip.
Skizz trying to hold on the mid lane, but Black Warrior Cookies is putting out a lot of damage. Taunt connects, and Skizz is chunked out before the dragon is even spawned. Very dangerous place to be if you're Glacial Rising Phoenix.
Top lane is constant fighting. But, like you said, it's already a big chunk on the Skizz, and I mean, with this bot prio, they're going to pick up this dragon. And this is, you know, what we've been talking about all series, where NG Blossom is always all over these early game objectives. Here they are, once again, first 2 dragons of the game going their way, and now we see Exasperated potentially looking for a gank down here. Hopefully he'll go clear some of his bot side jungle, you know, get some gold back in his pocket, reset some of the camps. He is falling behind in farm, but that doesn't necessarily matter if he's able to make this gank mid work.
Black Warrior Cookies connects to the taunt, Cleanse coming out, Kick's gonna go through, and just like that, Exasperated picks up the kill onto Crixin. Very clean play from Exasperated in the mid lane.
Yeah, a late cleanse kind of coming out from the side of Crixin. that Lee Sin Q kind of looked like it went through the minion, as we see a huge fight breaking out bot lane.
Catnator got a little bit too aggressive, forced to flash and cleanse away. But here we go, flash ward by Xylandis. The Tangly Roots are going to connect onto XDME. XDME forced to go golden here, and Epic Fail Guy's going to pick up that kill. Oh, a misplay by Jeremy Flip. He flashes forward, and he's going to get taken down by Joey Desu.
Yeah, the most important thing about what happened top lane is Skiz actually is going to get towered over as well. Just action everywhere. The important thing about top lane is I don't think Jeremy Flip's going to get to use his Rift Herald. It looks like it's going to expire here in his inventory while he's dead. I mean, 8 set, yeah, it expires. He doesn't use the Rift Herald at all. And so much for that Rift Herald play that we talked about potentially going over for the side of NG Blossom. But he is going to TP back in. Karma's just annoying. Unable to pull anything off top lane. And you know, Epic Fail Guy in Xylandis at least kind of holding strong in this lane.
Looking around the map now, Jake, you see about a 3,000 gold lead ahead for NG Blossom. 3 kills onto your Galio in the mid lane, 3 kills onto your jungler, 2 more onto Catnator in the bot lane, who still hasn't died yet this series. Glacial Rising Phoenix really needs to step up. But who's going to be that focal point? Who do you think is going to be that leader to step up for him?
I mean, it has to come. The big thing is mid jungle have to step up, right? It's a little unfortunate as we do have maybe Jeremy Flip overextending here. Sedge looking for a kill, but Exasperated
here to back him up. Jeremy Flip's going to pick up the kill onto Skiz, and now the Blue Smite comes out trying to slow him down, but Joey Desu responds with an auto of his own. Iceborne Gauntlet already completed. Joey Desu has already become the rock for the top lane.
I mean, the thing there is Exasperated, once again, right place, right time, right? Jeremy Flip technically gets credit for a solo kill. However, I mean, if Exasperated's not there, you know, Joey Desu is able to follow up a little bit more, and Jeremy Flip can't be quite as aggressive. So once again, you know, we've seen this jungler, right place, right time on the map. And Syndra looks to be in some serious trouble here, as there's definitely potential to tower diver here.
He's gonna go in, look for the smite. Exasperated with an easy kick onto Crixon, gonna pick up that kill.
And really clean play coming out for the side of NG Blossom. As Skiz,
Enchanted Crystal Arrow is gonna connect on the Black Warrior Cookies. Black Warrior Cookies taunt going out, trying to survive. Epic Fail Guy on the backside. Desperate to pick up the kill onto Skiz. Here comes the heroic entrance, trying to create some space for him. But Epic Fail Guy's gonna take that shutdown. Catnator's gonna pick up the kill. And Epic Fail Guy will take a double kill as he takes on Jeremy Flip.
And Epic Fail Guy continuing to be this massive rock on the side of Glacial Rising Phoenix. And, you know, honestly, I'm just going to take a quick step back from the series as a whole. I really wish we could have seen Glacial Rising Phoenix kind of at their full strength with Skiz in the mid lane and maybe Duddy Brands or even Klepto from yesterday's series in the jungle, because Epic Fail Guy has looked solid like he always does in the AD carry role. Joey does to this game, I mean, he's 1-3, but he's looking pretty good. The noticeable weakness has been mid jungle in this series as a whole. You know, Exasperated, right place, right time, always. And Skiz not able to get too much done. And in this game, I mean, we're looking 1-4 on the Sejuani. You know, just unable to really find any success this game.
And we have this third Drake coming up in about 30 seconds. You can already see NG Blossom making their way down there now. No TP available on Jeremy Flip, but you do have a TP available from Joey Desu, but Joey Desu is going to opt just to walk straight towards this dragon. It's going to be a 5v4, because Glacial Rising Phoenix knows if they give up this dragon, it's going to put NG Blossom right in soul point.
Yeah, and here comes Jeremy Flip. He's walking down now. Assuming, you know, nobody gets really caught out here, as Crixon just gets really chunked from that Morgana binding. I mean, we're going to see just a 5v5 with Caitlyn kind of having these traps already set up in a choke point. Galio's pushing mid, but he's in range to join with R, or even walk down behind them with the flank.
Glacial Rising Phoenix not quite sure where to go right now, as they're just trying to, you know, find a way past it. And here we go. Skiz is going to dash back over. The ultimate connects on a Catnator. Good cleanse coming out, but here comes Galio, 2-man taunt coming through, and Exasperated picks up the kill onto Joey Desu. But here comes the big Zyra ult. Enchanted Crystal is going to connect. But here comes Black Warrior Cookies again. Catnator picking up the kill on an epic fail guy. Cleanse comes out, but it's not going to be enough. Double kill over to Catnator. Black Warrior Cookies is seeing blood. He's going forward, trying to see if he can pick him up, but GRP is going to pick up the kill on Crixon. Flash roll by Black Warrior Cookies, and he's going to go for Xylandis, and that is going to be an ace over to NG Blossom.
It doesn't though. Catnator died. It's over. The dream is dead. There's no perfect series for Catnator, as he was slain by the Syndra. But that right there is a perfect example of what NG Blossom does best. We have talked about it before. They are so good at playing the map, right? They're there for the Infernal Dragon, but at first, you know, they had Jeremy flip top lane. He pushes in the wave, right? So the whole wave gets missed by Joey Desu up there, able to walk down in time still. And we see Galio mid the whole time, just constantly creating the mid pressure, able to just rotate down and, you know, be there for the dragon. And like you were talking about, Glacial Rising Phoenix didn't know what to do, as Skiz is going to find Jeremy Flip in the jungle.
Jeremy Flip's stunned up, trying to get slowed down by Epic Fail Guy. Epic Fail Guy trying to get some damage out, but the Black Shield is absorbing so much. Skiz is going to pick up that kill, and that's going to force the flash by XDME.
Yeah, and Jeremy Flip kind of overstaying, being greedy for the Wolves, and we saw this a little bit in Game 1 from the side of NG Blossom. They get ahead, they have a lead, and they kind of get a little cocky, a little greedy, you know, going for things they shouldn't in the jungle of Glacial Rising Phoenix. This game, they're still extremely far ahead. But, you know, it's a good play, right? One small step at a time to maybe get back in this game if you're Glacial Rising Phoenix.
This final Herald going to be ticking away slowly and only going to be able to quite commit to it. We have the Infernal Soul available for NG Blossom in the next 3.5 minutes. That could be their easy win condition here if they don't pick up a Baron, what's going to be spawning in about 20 seconds.
Yeah, and they're going to try to finish this Rift Herald before it spawns. You know, this is a close fight, right? Can they get the Rift? I don't think they get it, man. Ooh.
Just
off by
barely
600.
missed it.
That's a closer fight than some of these team fights. I mean, but, I mean, that's just like I've been saying, you know, we've seen... They've been able to kind of hold their own, right? The bot lane, I mean, sure, Caitlyn's 5-1, but we've seen some moments from Epic Fail Guy in the bot lane. We've seen some good from Joey Desu in the solo lane by itself. It's all faltering in these team fights and in these small skirmishes, exasperated. Always right place, right time. Black Oreo Cookies, like you talked about in the early game. Everywhere with the ultimate, a very strong Galio roaming on the map. And, I mean, Karma's just continuously poking down this Aatrox, but it doesn't mean anything.
Exasperated, trying to sniff his way around, pick up some of that vision where they can. Giz is already getting forced to back away by Black Oreo Cookies, as Black Oreo Cookies kind of just makes his presence known up here in the top lane, and they're just trying to go ahead and secure this top tier 1 tower.
Yeah, and a cheeky little proto belt to stop Skiz's recall. And, you know, we're looking at the map state, right? I don't think NG Blossom's going to look for a 20-minute Baron this game. I think they're going to look to get this soul, as we see Lee Sin's down here.
And it's going to connect, and that's going to be the kill over to Exasperated onto Joey Desu.
And
Joey
Exasperated.
Desu's been able to, you know, create a lot of this space and able to harass Jeremy Flip, but Exasperated's always just in the right place at the right time to help out Jeremy Flip, and that's 6 kills now onto Exasperated.
Yeah, and if we want to take a quick look forward, right? Exasperated has been performing very well this series. And, you know, glancing ahead at their opponents in the finals, assuming they're able to close out this game, you know, Ham in the jungle has been dominant all season long. We saw earlier today in the semifinals, absolutely a monster. As, once again, Exasperated.
Black gonna pick up that kill!
Man, what a kick flash coming out from Exasperated.
Taunt's gonna connect, Chinch Crusader's gonna go out, but it's gonna be an instant cleanse from Black Warrior Cookies. Exasperated taking a little bit low here, but no damage to follow it up.
And Exasperated
really good play
has
by NG Blossom.
Yeah, great play by NG Blossom overall, like you're saying. And Exasperated's looked really good, right? And if we look ahead to who they have to play against in the finals, Ham has been a dominant force for that team. And if you're able to disrupt Ham and stop him from that carry potential, like we saw in Game 1 for Iron Dragons, there's a chance, right? And so Exasperated having a really clean series this series is promising. If he's able to continue a performance like this, it's going to be good for NG Blossom. They still have to close out this game, however. as Jeremy Flip and Joey Desu going back at it again.
Here comes the TP from Black Warrior Cookies. Black Warrior Cookies kind of caught out here. CC Lock has to go golden, but Epic Fail Guy pumping out a lot of TPS here. Exasperated looking to go back in. Skiz is taking kind of low. Double kill over to Jeremy Flip. He's going to go over the wall, look to find XDME. XDME taking low. Triple kill now for Jeremy Flip, as the last two members of Glacial Rising Phoenix are on the run. Catnator picking up the kill onto Crixon. Epic Fail Guy kind of caught underneath his own tower, and that's going to be... Oh, he's trying to get away! Will be able to survive. He's hidden under his inhibitor turret. He's trying to get away. Jeremy Flip going to go for it. That's the ace over to NG Blossom.
Oh, and he's able to get the shutdown. Jeremy Flip staying a little too long under the tower, but overall, a super clean fight coming out from NG Blossom.
This game, the Infernal Soul for NG Blossom.
This game is starting to... If it wasn't already over before, hitting this, 11,000 gold lead, Infernal Soul, like you said, for the Caitlyn now coming out, it's a pretty dire situation. It's pretty much over. Glacial Rising Phoenix, they just have to be able to capitalize maybe on a Baron play, as Exasperated kind of overstaying here should go down.
Has to go gold, but it's not going to be enough. 900 gold shutdown over to Xylandis as he picks up that kill onto Exasperated.
And normally you don't want such a big shutdown going to your support, but when your support's playing Zyra, I mean, getting some more damage for the Zyra is not going to be bad. Glacial Rising Phoenix's way back into this game is punishing people that are playing greedy and overconfident, as they're looking to maybe catch out Black Oreo Cookies, forcing him to flash
away. We can see Glacial Rising Phoenix kind of making their stand here in the mid lane, trying to slow the tempo down of NG Blossom, who's just been relentless in their push. Looking to see now a good stun and a huge kill as Crixon's taken down. Epic Fail Guy trying to kite back, but Caitlyn damage is just too much with this Infernal Soul. Jeremy Flip's going to keep going forward. Damage connects, and that's going to be the headshot and the kill from the ace in the hole onto Xylandis.
That should be the series going to the side of NG Blossom. All their wave clear's dead for about 20 more seconds. They might look to just end the series right here and now, Pasta.
Here we go. The root connects onto Skiz. Skiz taken down. That's 4 members down for Glacial Rising Phoenix, and 4 members of NG Blossom making their way, marching their way in for a commanding victory. Taunt connects. That's the ace over NG Blossom, and that's going to be the game, ladies and gentlemen. NG Blossom is just trying to finish it up now, taking down the last Nexus turret. Crixon trying to make his valiant last stand, but it's just too little too late. Exasperated pumping out a lot of damage. They're now knocking on the Nexus, taking out so much damage, and that's going to be almost the game, but they're just padding those stats now, Jake. They're just trying to boost up that kill participation, get those last couple kills, shut down over, going golden for 2.
Catnator dies a second time. Man, more 2 deaths. You got to make up for no deaths in the games. They should still be able to end, as Skiz, they're looking to, once, like you said, to pad the KDAs and kind of kill Skiz. Skiz is able to kill XDMB with the Sejuani R.
And pick up that last
Can he
kill,
win?
padding those stats.
He should be able to.
I'm not sure if he'll be able to win now. He
should be able to.
He's ticking away. Last auto attack. NG Blossom finishes out the series with a commanding 3-0 victory over Glacial Rising Phoenix.
Yeah, we see a just very dominant performance from NG Blossom, and that's the kind of performance you need to have as the 1 seed in the semifinal match. We saw, like I mentioned, we saw Kisses for Cats, KFC, a pretty dominant 3-1 over Iron Dragons, right? And that's the 3 versus 2 seed over there, really close matchup, very dominant performance. And as the 1 seed, you really need to have a dominant performance back against the 5 seed in the playoffs. We see them just kind of commanding 3-0. And this finals, I mean, we have the 1 versus the 2 seed, Kisses for Cats versus NG Blossom looking forward. And that's going to be a very exciting finals match. Luckily, the season's not quite over for Glacial Rising Phoenix. They do have a chance to bounce back in the 3rd place match against Iron Dragons next Saturday coming up. And there's still some money on the line, I believe, for 3rd place. So if they're able to pick up that win there, kind of mentally reset themselves for this next upcoming series against Iron Dragons, they can still look for a good way to close out the season there.
NG Blossom looked to have a very commanding presence on the Rift there, as they were able to just put out so much damage and really play their own game. Exasperated going for those early objective controls to allow he had his laner set up, get a lot of priority for him to let him go after those early game objectives instead of having to force himself on making those early pressured ganks. But with that, he was able to then transition himself into the late game, and now overall just a very good play out of Exasperated. And now it looks like we're going to have a quick interview here with Catnator, who only had 2 deaths in the entire series. Catnator, how did those games go for you?
Well, I answered this third game, which was kind of a yikes. But the first 2 games went pretty well.
So we looked at you. You had 0 deaths in the first 2 games. Had to pick up those last 2. No golden dream for yourself. What was y'all's thoughts going into the series? Number 1 seed versus the number 5 seed. Did you guys think it was going to be easy? Were you hoping to maybe battle it out a little bit, or did you guys know that you had to play your own game?
Well, since we struggled against Trigger Happy looked like the stronger team in the quarters, but because apparently that guy couldn't play, I guess GRP won, and we think our GRP matchup was a lot better than our Trigger Happy matchup, so we were pretty confident coming in.
Yeah, and it definitely showed. I mean, you guys, showed up and performed, and it wasn't really a close series. Game 1 was the only game I would say that was the closest, and that's when XDME got his, pentakill on Pike. I think definitely just only playing Pike and getting a penta to shot at me for saying you guys were a weak bot lane. I'll definitely eat my words on that one. You guys did perform well. But going into, that game 1, when the game started to slip a little bit, did you guys get worried at all, or was it just you being a little cocky?
I don't think we were worried. We just focused on what we always do, objectives, and we played how we practice.
Yeah, well, good job to you guys there. And looking ahead to the finals matchup, right? The first loss you guys received was to Kisses for Cats, and it was not necessarily the closest game you guys played. How are you guys looking to kind of take advantage this time around and maybe have a better showing?
Well, I'll probably play less WoW this time, so I'll play better.
The classic playing a different game before a key match.
Yeah. So yeah, we're probably just gonna practice a lot more, look at the games that they played, and try to do better than we did a few weeks ago.
Yeah, and the big thing that we've seen from Kisses for Cats all split has been their jungler. And, Exasperated for you guys had a really good series. Is there any, key person that you care the most about on Kisses for Cats, or are you gonna prep for everything the same way?
Well, I think we just have to look at their games to find that out first, because we didn't really watch them in detail. We just kind of had our fun watching the Iron Dragon KFC games, which are pretty fun. So I guess we have to look more in detail to see who we want to go against, or who we wants to focus that series.
Yeah, you guys do have a week to prepare. Do you have any more questions for the man, Pasta?
Honestly, Catnator, excellent showing coming out. We wish you could have got that, the golden dream of no deaths in this series, but overall, very good play from you and your team. Congratulations as you guys move into the finals, and I'll be really excited to see how you guys do as you face off against Kisses for Cats.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Best of luck to you guys in the finals.
Thanks.
Yeah, so as we continue to kind of close out the broadcast here at the end of the stream. Like I mentioned earlier, we do in fact have a third place game between Glacial Rising Phoenix and Iron Dragons, and that one's going to be Saturday at 1 p.m. And then the final showdown between Catnator and the boys of NG Blossom versus Kisses for Cats will be Sunday at 1 p.m. And we saw some dominant semifinals from both teams. Certainly going to be a hype matchup. And we do have one big announcement to make. If you would like to take the announcement away, Mr. Pasta.
So the MVP of the regular season is going to be announced tomorrow night. So you guys definitely need to keep your eyes on that and see who is going to be announced as the MVP for the entire regular split coming into the ALS. I'm excited. Yeah. I'm really hoping to see, who we decided to be, or who was decided to be the number 1 player throughout the split.
Yeah, it's going to be some exciting news coming out to see who the MVP was, and I'm really looking forward to next week. As we get to next weekend, we get to see our finals and third place match. Don't go anywhere, guys. In terms of coming back, make sure you're all here. Make sure you're ready. Don't go shopping. Don't make any plans. Be here Saturday and Sunday for these third place match and finals. We'll see you guys then. Thank you very much.